Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are analyzing source material that is, well, it's urgent and frankly pretty unnerving. We're deep diving into the accelerating conflict facing two 𝗧𝗔𝗓𝗓𝗓+ communities right here in the United States.
Yeah, and the material shows this threat moving way beyond just rhetoric.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Citing open discussions by some government officials for the forcible institutionalization of transgender people. I mean, that really demands we understand not just the threat, but also the incredible layered response.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating here is how strategically sophisticated that response has actually become.
Right.
Our sources reveal these three simultaneous battlefronts. There's a rapid-fire legal timeline detailing the 2025 federal policy conflicts, right? Then there's the launch of this proactive international sanctuary initiative called TATANKA.
TATANKA, okay.
And also a crucial cultural battle over self-definition, which is embedded right in the 2𝗧𝗔𝗓𝗓𝗓+ acronym itself. It really shows a community fighting for legal existence, physical safety, and historical recognition all at the same time.
So our mission for you, the listener, is really to move past those headlines and understand the key strategic moves here.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack why a legal battle over your U.S. passport actually became the ultimate constitutional flashpoint.
It's pretty central.
And how this new model of sanctuary is being built as like a globally self-sustaining movement.
A pragmatic revolution of love, as they call it.
Exactly. And why just placing two letters at the start of that long acronym is fundamentally an act of decolonization and liberation. It's fascinating stuff.
Okay, let's unpack this. Maybe we should start with the immediate context. The policy battlegrounds of 2025.
Makes sense. Where did it kick off?
Well, the fight began right at the federal level. There was a policy shift that established a new, really restrictive definition of sex.
Okay.
The executive order underpinning this was titled Defending Women from Gender Ideology Extremism and Restoring Biological Truth to the Federal Government.
Wow, that title alone says a lot.
It does. It set the foundation for pretty much every subsequent restriction that followed.
That immediately puts the stakes into perspective, doesn't it? Instead of focusing on, big, complex legislation first, the administration targeted something intensely practical.
Yeah, the most basic identity document.
The passport. And we saw this Orr v. Trump litigation emerge as the central legal war over the U.S. passport. What exactly did the administration initially try to mandate with those passport markers?
So they aim to enforce that new restrictive federal definition of sex.
Yeah.
Basically requiring passport markers to match the sex assigned at birth, which was, of course, a direct attack on transgender and non-binary people wanting to use the X marker or even just update their official gender designation.
Right.
The goal was clearly to enforce that restrictive definition onto official documents, making like the simple act of identity verification into a policy tool.
So this legal skirmish, it moved fast. What was the judicial countermove then?
Well, almost immediately, the judicial system pushed back. A U.S. district judge, Julia Kobik, she issued a preliminary injunction, which temporarily blocked the enforcement of that policy.
So, a pause.
Yeah, applause. But the administration responded instantly. They filed an emergency petition with the U.S. Supreme Court trying to get that injunction lifted.
Wow. So they escalated it right to the top.
Right away. The message was clear. This document fight, this passport issue, was absolutely critical to their whole agenda.
And the judge, she didn't back down, did she? The sources show the court actually escalating the judicial resistance later in the year.
That's right. Judge Kobik didn't just, maintain the status quo. She expanded the injunction. She clarified that applicants could use M, F, or X markers regardless of their sex assigned at birth. It was a strong constitutional affirmation, really, of the right to accurate identity.
Okay, a significant expansion.
Definitely.
But
by late 2025, the administration petitioned the Supreme Court again, this time to suspend that expanded order and reinstate the restrictive birth-assigned marker requirement. So, back and forth.
So the core takeaway then from this whole passport war isn't just the legal procedure itself, is it? It's that the ability to simply move through the world with accurate documents became like the #1 constitutional flashpoint of 2025.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
But it wasn't just passports, though, was it?
No, you're right. Correct. While the passport case was playing out, courts were also blocking federal directives aimed at penalizing healthcare providers offering gender-affirming care.
Okay. On what grounds?
Those injunctions cited likely violations of equal protection rights under the Constitution.
Got it.
And lawsuits also challenged attempts to narrowly define sex more broadly, not just for passports, and also to limit diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI efforts across federal agencies.
DEI, those are the policies designed to ensure workplace fairness and opportunity, right?
Exactly. So the legal pushback was pretty comprehensive, kind of using the Constitution as a shield against various prongs of this agenda.
Okay, so if the threat is accelerating within the U.S. legal system, the community response seems to have pivoted globally and proactively.
Yeah, that's a key shift.
Which brings us to the second major insight, the launch of this TATANKA Sanctuary Initiative. It feels like a transition from pure legal defense towards, maybe, global self-determination.
That's precisely how they frame it. TATANKA views this as a declaration of resistance, creativity, and solidarity. It is definitely not a retreat.
Not a retreat.
Their core mission is very practical, providing shelter, security, and purpose. But their foundational doctrine, it states explicitly, relocation is not retreat, it is revolution.
Wow. Relocation is revolution.
Yeah. They're arguing that strategically moving people out of immediate danger and into these self-sustaining communities is actually the highest form of political action right now.
Okay, wait. Let's talk practicalities then. Their initial funding goal is listed as $26,000 to launch a global initiative. I mean, that's not just pragmatic, it feels almost radical. What does that budget tell us about their priorities? Is it speed over scale?
Oh, absolutely. It prioritizes speed and urgency above all else. They emphasized, and I quote, that they do not have the luxury of time. That modest $26,000 is just seed money. It's focused solely on covering the first year's baseline costs, immediate staffing, getting facilities set up.
So like a minimum viable product, but for protection.
Exactly. An MVP model,
Right.
minimum viable protection. It gets the project running immediately rather than, waiting around for some massive capital campaign that might take years.
But the strategy for independence, that's where the real long-term revolution seems to lie, because perpetual charity, well, it's just not sustainable, is it?
Precisely. And that's the goal, to escape dependency. The long-term plan is designed to achieve independence through, get this, 19 planned revenue streams.
19.
Yeah, derived from integrated programs. And these aren't just like bake sales or small grants. They include music, arts, education, even AI-human collaborative projects.
Okay, that's ambitious.
It's an entire ecosystem designed to generate its own security and funding. The idea is to make it resistant to external political or economic pressure. Self-sufficiency as resistance.
So where are they actually building this new world, and what services are offered beyond just, a roof over someone's head?
Well, they're establishing secure facilities, but crucially, in safe international jurisdictions. Places where LGBTQIA+ protections are already legally enshrined.
Makes sense.
They're actively scouting locations globally. Places like Tierra del Fuego, Uruguay, Canada, Iceland are mentioned. Spots that offer stability and that crucial legal protection.
And the program itself sounds quite comprehensive, like trauma-informed and holistic.
Yes, absolutely. Beyond immediate shelter, they offer crucial legal assistance, things like help with asylum claims, humanitarian parole, plus trauma-informed counseling and community networks focused on immediate survival needs, like job readiness or language training if needed.
Right.
And critically, there's a very large component focused on creative empowerment, providing residencies, mentorship for artists and educators.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, the source material really emphasizes that affirming art and culture is actually central to survival and resistance for them.
That model really connects the dots, doesn't it? The practical needs of housing and legal aid with the maybe spiritual needs of culture and self-expression.
Exactly.
So if the administration is trying to restrict identity markers in U.S. courtrooms, the community's response is to fight back on a more fundamental level by rewriting the very language and history of their struggle.
Yes.
And that brings us neatly to our third major insight, why the acronym itself starts with two S.
This is such a profound political and cultural statement.
Yeah.
It's not just alphabet soup.
Right.
Before we discuss the placement, maybe let's just quickly break down the expanded acronym for anyone who might be unfamiliar.
Good idea.
Okay, so we have 2S for two-spirit, then L, lesbian, G, gay, B, bisexual, T, transgender.
The core letters many know.
Right. Then Q for queer or questioning.
Yeah.
I for intersex. A for asexual or aromantic, sometimes allied to, depending on context.
Okay.
And then the crucial plus sign at the end, signifying inclusion for all other unlisted identities like pansexual, genderqueer, and so on.
Got it. So let's focus on that first part, two-spirit. What exactly does that identity represent, and why is its inclusion, let alone its placement at the very beginning, so significant?
Okay, so two-spirit is a specific cultural term. It's used by some indigenous peoples in North America, not all.
Important distinction.
Very. It describes an individual who embodies both masculine and feminine spirits. And historically, these individuals often held distinct, often sacred roles like healers or mediators within their traditional pre-colonial societies.
Pre-colonial, that's key.
Absolutely. The term itself was formally adopted or reclaimed, really, in 1990 as a way to reclaim those traditions and actively resist the colonial erasure that had suppressed them for centuries.
So placing that history, that specific identity, right at the beginning is clearly not a random choice.
Not at all.
It feels like a very deliberate political act. Our sources highlight, I think, 4 key reasons for positioning 2S first.
That's right. The primary reason is really to honor indigenous leadership. It's an acknowledgement that gender and sexual diversity existed right here on this continent long before European colonization ever happened.
Okay, so grounding it in deeper history.
Precisely. And the second reason follows directly from that. It's explicitly intended to decolonize the acronym itself, to resist that tendency to center only Western and often white frameworks of gender and sexuality.
Which ensures that the queer movement has to recognize the history of the land it actually occupies. Makes sense.
Exactly. Then the third reason is really about ensuring visibility and respect, making two-spirit people a leading voice in the broader liberation movement, not just, an afterthought potentially lumped somewhere under the pluses.
Giving them prominence.
Yes. And the final reason, the fourth one, connects directly back to that idea we were discussing of a global decolonized liberation movement.
Oh, so?
It serves as a really powerful symbolic reordering. By leading with two-spirit, the movement signals that queer and trans liberation is fundamentally tied to indigenous sovereignty and wisdom. The sources frame this as rooting the entire contemporary movement in a much deeper, longer history of resistance that really precedes the current political context.
What really stands out to me from all this is just the sheer complexity of the struggle today. It's a fight being waged simultaneously, isn't it, in U.S. courtrooms over basic identity markers.
Yeah, like your passport.
Established globally through strategically independent sanctuaries like TATANKA.
A revolution of love.
And redefined culturally through decolonial language that reaches back centuries for strength and purpose.
It really highlights that effective resistance today has to be comprehensive, doesn't it? You have to link the legal defense with proactive community building and also that cultural re-education piece. And while the TATANKA Sanctuary Initiative provides that global outlet, it's important to remember, for anyone facing immediate risk or needing legal help within the U.S. right now,
Yes.
the source material did provide an extensive directory of legal and crisis support organizations. That practical help is there too.
That is absolutely crucial information. We're talking about organizations like Trans Lifeline, the Trevor Project, Lambda Legal, the ACLU.
Yeah, all geared toward legal guidance and immediate aid.
So the infrastructure for support does exist, even as these policy threats are mounting.
It's vital information, yeah. For anyone needing direct support or even just looking to assist those who do.
This entire deep dive, it feels like it's been focused on strategic, practical action, seed money, legal maneuvers, building facilities.
Very hands-on.
And this concept that care itself is a strategic act of resistance, it kind of leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener. Given that this sanctuary model demands a global, practical commitment to community care, what is one tangible, concrete act of support, something beyond just rhetoric that you can contribute, to build sanctuary or support liberation right there in your own immediate community?
That's a powerful question to end on.
That really is the challenge this deep dive offers.